Can you believe that with just $300 a month, you could not just survive but actually live comfortably in an Asian country? Picture waking up to snow-capped mountains, wandering through ancient temples, and sharing meals with some of the warmest people you'll ever meet, all without breaking the bank. Asia, the world's largest continent, is a place of extremes. On one end, you have nations like Japan and South Korea, where futuristic skylines and cutting-edge technology dominate everyday life. On the other, there are countries still facing poverty, economic struggles, and inequality. And yet within those struggles lies something extraordinary. A cost of living so low it feels impossible, cultures rich with tradition and a sense of authenticity that money can't buy. In this video, we're counting down the 5 poorest countries in Asia, places where life isn't easy but beauty and resilience shine through in unforgettable ways. These are countries where on a budget smaller than you might spend on a weekend in the US, you could live for an entire month. So let me ask you, which nation do you think will take the #1 spot? Could it be the mountain trails of Nepal, the resilience of Afghanistan, or perhaps the charm of Myanmar? Leave your guess in the comments, and let's begin the journey. 5. At number 5, we have Pakistan, a country in South Asia with a population of nearly 233 million people. It's a land of contrasts, stretching from the snow-capped Himalayas in the north to the sun-drenched shores of the Arabian Sea in the south. Every region tells a different story, from mountain villages to bustling megacities. But behind this beauty lies a harsh economic reality. Pakistan's gross national income per capita is only about $1.280, and nearly 40% of the population lives in poverty. A large portion of the national budget goes to defense, while only around 2.6% is invested in education. This imbalance has slowed development and left millions struggling. Still, Pakistan's culture is vibrant and deeply resilient. Women here are known not just for their beauty, but also for their strength. The traditional shalwar kameez, often decorated with bright hand embroidery, reflects centuries of artistry. And in recent years, many Pakistani women have stepped forward as leaders in education, social change, and even politics, showing remarkable courage in the face of challenges. Now let's talk about the cost of living, because this is where Pakistan surprises many outsiders. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in a city center can cost as little as $150 to $200 per month. A simple meal at a local restaurant, just $2 to $3. Public transportation is extremely cheap. A monthly pass will only set you back a few dollars. Put it all together, and a single person can live on a budget of about $450 to $650 per month. To put that in perspective, living in Pakistan is roughly 70 to 80% cheaper than in the United States. Imagine paying $2 for a meal instead of $15, or renting a city apartment for $180 instead of $800. That's the kind of gap we're talking about. So yes, Pakistan is affordable, rich in culture, and full of resilience. But if you think this is already cheap, wait until you see the next country on our list, because the costs there are even more shocking. 4. At number 4, we arrive in Myanmar, a country in Southeast Asia with a population of about 55 million people. Walking through its cities, you'll notice a striking mix of ancient Buddhist pagodas standing side by side with remnants of British colonial architecture, a vivid reminder of the nation's layered history. Economically, Myanmar faces serious challenges. With a gross national income per capita of only $1.260, much of its economy still relies on agriculture and fishing. Political instability, natural disasters, and limited infrastructure have made growth difficult, leaving large parts of the population struggling. Yet beyond the hardships, Myanmar shines through its people and culture. Burmese women are often admired for their elegance, pale complexions, long flowing black hair, and gentle smiles. One unique cultural detail is the use of thanaka, a traditional golden-colored paste applied on the face for beauty and skin protection. It's not just a cosmetic choice, but a symbol of identity passed down for generations. Now let's talk about the cost of living. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in downtown Yangon, the country's largest city, will cost between $300 and $400 per month. Meals are incredibly cheap. A simple dish at a local food stall costs only $1 to $3. Public transport. You can hop on a bus for less than $1. Add it all together and a single person can live comfortably in Myanmar with just $500 to $700 a month. To put that into perspective, that's about one-fifth the cost of living in the United States. Imagine living a full month in Myanmar for the same price as a single week in a mid-sized American city. Here's a story that illustrates this. An expat once shared how he lived in Yangon on just $600 a month. He dined out almost every day, enjoyed fresh local markets, and still had money left over for weekend trips across the country. That's the kind of affordability and richness of experience Myanmar can offer. But Myanmar is just the beginning. If you're looking not only for cheap living but also for a country with a unique philosophy of happiness over money, then the next destination on our list will surprise you even more. 3. At number 3, we arrive in one of the most unique countries in the world, Bhutan. Often called the last Shangri-La, this tiny Himalayan kingdom about the size of Switzerland is home to just 763,000 people. Hidden between India and China, it feels like stepping into another era, untouched, serene, and deeply spiritual. Economically, Bhutan is not wealthy in conventional terms. With a gross national income per capita of about $2,860, its economy relies heavily on hydropower exports to neighboring countries and tourism. But here's what makes Bhutan different. While the rest of the world chases GDP and growth statistics, Bhutan is famous for creating the concept of gross national happiness. Instead of measuring only money, they measure how content and fulfilled their citizens are. Imagine a country where government policies are judged by whether they make people happier, not just richer. Culturally, Bhutan is a treasure chest of traditions. Women here embody the nation's grace and pride, often seen wearing the kira, a vibrant ankle-length dress woven in dazzling colors and intricate patterns. These garments are not just fashion, they are living symbols of Bhutanese heritage. Picture a festival in Thimphu, prayer flags fluttering in the mountain breeze, monks chanting in crimson robes, and women in brightly colored kira laughing together. It's a sight that captures the very spirit of the kingdom. Now let's talk about living costs. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in Thimphu ranges from $200 to $400 per month. Groceries are modest, about $30 to $50 per week for fresh vegetables, rice, and dairy. Utilities such as heating, electricity, and water average only $30 to $50 a month. Even with occasional internet costs of $40 to $60, a single person can live comfortably in Bhutan for $500 to $1,000 a month. Compare that to the United States, where similar expenses could easily run $2,000 to $3,000. That means Bhutan costs about 1/4 of living in an American city. Imagine cutting your expenses by 75%, and in return gaining peace, nature, and a culture that values balance over stress. So here's my question for you. Would you rather live in a place overflowing with money but little peace, or in a country where happiness itself is the national priority? If Bhutan feels too calm for your lifestyle, don't worry, because the next country on our list is anything but quiet. It will overwhelm you with sheer majesty, mountain ranges so tall and endless they will take your breath away. 2. At number 2, we journey to the breathtaking heart of the Himalayas, Nepal. With a population of about 30 million people, this landlocked country is perhaps best known as the home of Mount Everest, the highest peak on Earth. Nepal is a nation of contrasts, bustling markets in Kathmandu on one hand and serene mountain villages perched among the clouds on the other. Economically, Nepal struggles. With a gross national income per capita of only $1.190, it is one of the least developed nations in Asia. The scars of a decade-long civil war, frequent natural disasters like earthquakes and floods, and the challenges of a mountainous terrain have slowed progress. Despite being rich in natural resources, the country faces limited opportunities and widespread poverty. And yet Nepal's people shine through adversity. Nepalese women, with their unique blend of ethnic backgrounds, are admired for their warmth, resilience, and natural beauty. Large, expressive eyes, graceful features, and kind smiles reflect the cultural richness of the country. But beyond physical beauty, what truly stands out is their reputation for being welcoming, hardworking, and deeply community-oriented. Now let's talk about cost of living. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in Nepal's capital city can be as low as $100 to $160 per month. A hearty local meal costs about $2. Utilities for a modest apartment average only $23 per month. Add it all together, and a single person can live comfortably on $350 to $500 a month. Compared to the United States, where a similar lifestyle would cost at least $2,000, living in Nepal is about 84% cheaper. Just imagine, with what you'd spend on 1 week in an American city, you could live an entire month in Nepal. Here's a story that captures the experience a traveler once shared, that with a budget of $900 a month, he could rent a comfortable apartment, eat out daily, and even hire guides to take him trekking through the Himalayas every weekend. For him, Nepal wasn't just affordable, it was a dream life filled with adventure culture and natural wonder. So yes, Nepal is breathtakingly beautiful, welcoming, and one of the most affordable countries in Asia. But hold on, because the cheapest, most surprising country is still ahead. At number 1, we'll uncover the nation where life costs less than almost anywhere else in Asia. A country where your monthly budget barely scratches the surface of what you'd spend back home. Stay tuned, because this final spot may shock you. 1. And finally, at number 1, we arrive at one of the most fragile yet unforgettable countries in the world, Afghanistan. With a population of nearly 40 million people and a land area about the size of Texas, Afghanistan sits at the crossroads of Central and South Asia. Its mountains are legendary, its valleys breathtaking, and its culture stretches back thousands of years. But the beauty of the land contrasts sharply with its struggles. Afghanistan is one of the poorest countries on earth, with a gross national income per capita of only $500. Years of political instability, armed conflicts, and economic isolation have left deep scars. For many families, survival itself is a daily challenge. And yet amid hardship, Afghan culture is resilient. Women here carry traditions through art and fashion. The Kochi dress, a traditional outfit adorned with intricate hand embroidery and small mirrored ornaments, reflects both elegance and strength. Worn at festivals and weddings, it catches the light, shimmering like a quiet reminder of a heritage that refuses to fade. Now let's look at what it actually costs to live here. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in a city center may be as little as $60 to $120 per month. Utilities average around $28, and internet services about $20 a month. Meals are incredibly inexpensive. A basic dish at a local restaurant costs just $2. Altogether, a single person could live on a budget of only $250 to $400 a month. To put that in perspective, that's nearly 90% cheaper than living in the United States. Imagine this: while $2 might buy you just a cup of coffee in the US, in Afghanistan it can cover an entire meal. A few $100s can stretch to cover rent, utilities, food, and even transportation. But here's the question. Would you dare to live in a place where life costs just $3 a month, but comes with enormous risks? Safety, freedom, and stability are uncertain, and those are prices no money can buy. Afghanistan at number 1 shows us the sharpest paradox: a country where costs are almost unbelievably low, but where challenges run deeper than numbers. And with that, our countdown of Asia's 5 poorest yet most fascinating countries comes to an end. These are places where hardship exists, but so does beauty, resilience, and culture. Which one surprised you the most? And more importantly, could you imagine yourself living in any of them, even just for a month? And there you have it, the 5 poorest countries in Asia, yet also the places where you can live on a budget so low it almost feels unreal. From Pakistan to Myanmar, from the peaceful kingdom of Bhutan to the mountain trails of Nepal, and finally, the resilience of Afghanistan. These nations may not be rich in wealth, but they are overflowing with something else: beauty, heritage, and human strength. They remind us that money is not everything. Sometimes it's simplicity, culture, and community that make life truly meaningful. So here's my question for you. If you had to choose, where would you live on just $300 a month? Would you pick the mountains of Nepal, the traditions of Bhutan, or perhaps the vibrant streets of Pakistan? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Your support means the world to us, and it inspires us to keep bringing you stories, insights, and journeys across the globe. Stay tuned, because the next episode will take you somewhere unexpected, and I promise you won't want to miss it.